First of all, I tell you briefly about my working, that I write in shape of pamphlets and about issues of humanity, all kinds, religious, faith, economy, political, and interfaith harmony. I distribute among people. So far, since last 20 years, I have successfully distributed 1.5 million of those pamphlets at my own. This is my passion for the service of humanity, and peace is my most important mission, on peace on the planet. So I visit every year or two in a year peace conferences on the planet. This time I selected ICD. Why I selected? It was a unique kind of idea, cultural diplomacy. I have heard that diplomacy through diplomatic missions, but this is a different one. So when I came, I heard the speeches. I find that cultural diplomacy is inculcate, it nourish the silent message of peace in the people. I have seen presentation through the tourism presentation. They present their country as a paradise, as heaven. In fact, wherever you live, that's paradise, that's heaven. So through tourism also, there is a message of peace among the humanity, community of humanity, because when you go there, any tourist go somewhere, so that receives love and respect, and it's a reciprocal education. So by the cultural diplomacy, by the tourism diplomacy, it's all message of peace. I am glad by looking at the so many beautiful faces, I would say flowers, the women, the youth. In my view, women is the next future leader on the planet, because she is the co-creator. After the God, the creation comes through the woman. And I firmly believe that there will be peace only when the woman will be in command of affairs. Unfortunately, she is depressed in the past, the male has some feeling of strength in him, and he dominated the women. And since that, I tell you one example. I noticed that the songs in the film, in the movies, they are written by males. I told my wife that how can the male can express the feeling of a woman? Cannot. So she said, no, the male is right. So I analyzed, observed that she is a depressed woman from 1,000 years, and she is not confident she has talent. So she has talent, she is mother, she nourishes children, so many children. In your countries, it's 1 or 2. In my country, sometimes it is 12. So she does justice to everyone, giving food to a little kid, satisfying him, and to elder, satisfying him. So she takes care of all the things. I'm glad you are the future leader here. And I would have not presented this presentation of today if I had not been born in the developing nation, because I have seen, as a political worker there, I have seen miseries, sufferings, deprivations. So I started writing about that. The first pamphlet I wrote, I'm a lawyer, I was in the district court. I have seen a bus containing prisoners, and I was watching them, and when they got down, the prisoner was in shackles. So I thought, and they were put behind the bar, and I thought, it is the best creation of all creations. So how can he is behind the bar? So I wrote, the dangerous animal are kept in the zoo, and dangerous humankind are also kept behind the bars. So there is no difference. The humankind should avoid committing crime. So he is the best. He has to prove it. So I have given you some poems. There is an example of, I write in my native language. One of that is there, if you have seen. You must see that. So in that, I have stated about the knowledge. Knowledge, if it is used for negative purpose, it is insult for the knowledge. It is contempt of knowledge. We see contempt of court, and it is the contempt of knowledge itself. So I am trying to tell people, my mission is to raise awareness in the minds of the people about issues. So I have no barrier in my life, no gender, no religion, no faith, no nationality. I am a human being, and I have written A Human on Planet Earth. You must also read that. Now I come to the presentation, Development Dilemma of Underdeveloped Nations. Humanity is millionaire story. If you start writing that, there are many aspects. Humankind is on continuous journey, seeking civilization, day by day. The human beings started living in a society subject to a set of laws based on principles evolved through evolutionary process. They are truth, love, respect, justice, empathy, compassion, tolerance, forbearance, education, honesty, equality. These are all common in all the religions' teachings. If you read books comparatively, they're all there. It's the way of life. So it has established through the evolutionary process. So the purpose was to maintain discipline and peaceful order in the society for the welfare, well-being, safety, security, and happiness of its members. We are the member of World Society. They selected the places for living. Humankind selected the places for living which were rich in natural resources, like where there was water, there was food. In case of famine or increase in population, people had to look for other areas, and they migrated to that area, which resulted in fights, wars between migrants and the already settled people in that area. With the passage of time, system of government evolved from tribal system to a country system. Necessity turned into greed to fetch more areas. History is full of wars. So anywhere the settled people, they had gained strength by number of people, horses, so they try to fetch other areas. Briefly I speak, The inventions of printing machine in Germany in 15th century, 1400 something, changed the scenario of human knowledge. Before it was not on the paper, it was on the leather, on this kind of thing. So the Reformation movement led by Martin Luther helped in thinking more liberal thoughts, more liberal way. New windows of knowledge were opened, resulting in many inventions in various fields of life. If you take the history, all the inventions, newly inventions, they were invented from 16 to onwards. So aeroplane and all that kind of this. There evolved a new concept of arms and weapons, guns, tanks, trucks, replaced the swords, arrows, and horses. We see movies of horses and swords. Now it's changed. The Europe became, at that time, center of modern education on the planet. So due to that education, the Europe evolved as superpowers. Some countries from Europe started conquering other countries in different regions of the world, mainly Africa, Asia, and made them colonies for utilizing their resources for the well-being of their own citizens. Colonial powers introduced new administrative structures which were solely for the ruling the subjects of the colony, and they also introduced infrastructures of railways, healthcare, and other social departments. What we see today in our countries, it was introduced by the West. That was the contribution, but their main object was to grab the resources of those countries. The children of the colonies were forced to study foreign languages, for of jobs in different departments of the governments. So they created all the infrastructures for their own interest. In colonies, a new class of bureaucracy was set in place with powers to control the masses. The powers were vested in it. Their job was to serve the masters, maintaining the distance between the subjects and the masters. After the Second World War, the colonial powers became weak and had to liberalize the colonies one after the other. The so-called independent nation, here comes the new nations. The so-called new nation ran the same old administrative system. Bureaucracy and army of new nations took the role of masters, replacing the old. They preferred to continue running the country in previous manner. They were worst kind of rulers. And in my country, we remember it was ruled by Britishers. We remember the days, my parents, they remember the days that in British rule, there was justice, there was education, there was freedom. And now with the new local rulers, although they are representative, but mentally they are low level, we face difficulties. Except few, rest all had to rely on aids and loans from the previous master to run the business of the government. This reliance later on proved to be a trap as countries goes into another kind of enslavement, which is called debt enslavement. The financial institution and the aid-giving countries, agencies, laid conditions and restrictions in such a way that the loan-receiving country gradually became a puppet in their hands. So I remember back in '88, my party came into rule. I was district and divisional president of my party. political party. Fortunately, the prime minister was a lady, first time in Islamic history. So she said that you invest in to create jobs for the people, you invest in industries and all that. I tried. My brother said, you go look for that. So I tried for some citric acid industry. The agent told me that you can have a cheaper machinery from Poland. So that Poland was from the Eastern Bloc, and at the same time, he told me that you cannot buy from Poland because it is not in the conditions laid down by the donor agencies. So they have conditions you cannot buy from that place. So by such way, they have controlled it. Now I come to the political system. Only 1 or 2 countries have successfully continued to apply democratic political system for running the country. All others had gone through periodic phases of dictatorship or continuation of kingdom system, which we see in the Arab, which hampered the path of evolutionary thinking of human mind. In general, the affairs of these countries also interfered by the powerful country as reflected in the declassified documents. In absence of accountability norms, there is rampant corruption in all fields of social system of developing world. Here I mention again, even the price of their crops, they are controlled. I know personally. There was a meeting of bureaucrats. I was sitting with them, and the Secretary of Food conveyed me that we have instructions. He didn't mention the power. We had instruction to fix that price, this level. So the developing countries, they don't have the choice because they cannot run their business. So I come to the educational system. Educational system was introduced by the colonial power for the children to have education and to serve them back in different departments. The institution was introduced only in main cities, not in rural areas. So the people of rural areas, they suffered a lot. So the underdeveloped nations have the same old inferior standard of education. They have inferior standard of education. In presence of this, the students of these countries have to look for higher education towards the countries with higher standard education of developers. Here I will refer to an example that a professor was telling us that the Romanian degree is now being expected in France. 10% of the medical doctors are from Romanian university graduate. So here I also see the disparity in developed worlds, disparity in Europe also. So why these disparity? Why not they are accepting it? Because those who have developed in education and in science and technology, they are not willing to transfer the knowledge of science, technology, and all other things by the standard they have. So then they deny the. I would say the Europe is advanced in forward in thinking. My friend, she was from Belgium. She has done PhD from Pakistan about the small settlings of the poor people. And she conveyed me years back that we are going to have a group, a European Union group, in which we will have degrees accepted by each other. The Belgium degree will be accepted by other countries, and other countries will have. So you are forward, and the European people are forward in thinking. So I would say the barriers of developed nation. After the Second World War, developed nations have established the barrier of visa system, which restricts the entry of citizens belonging to developing countries. The developed world allow only labor class from these countries as per their need and requirements. For talent hunt, they offer scholarship to talented ones. This process is generally known as brain drain of developing nations. It is surprising that no new nation has been able to develop itself to enter in the list of developed nations, as if the intelligence, talent, and wisdom has stopped its birthing in underdeveloped world. So it looks that there is no wisdom person born in developing nations. So this is irony of fate. Now I come to the financial system. In developing nations, the corrupt political and non-political leadership of underdeveloped nations have deposited huge sum of plundered money in the foreign banks. There is no strict control and check over money laundering, which is a financial crime. Only few agencies have been created. They fail to perform effective role in their functions. Reason may be lack of support from UN, UNO, millions and millions of dollars, euros of poor countries are lying abroad, whereas their citizens face sufferings, deprivation, misery of various kinds. They also pay back loan with the interest for the money which was never used for their welfare. I will tell you one figure, just last. $7 trillion are lying in the Swiss banks, and $300 billion of my country are lying in there. So why they are there? So I will conclude that with this, my message I give. Every child on planet should be given a free education up to higher level. Here I see problems with you people. Free education. It is the survival of capitalism in that. Because if they study, you never know which child is blessed by nature and who will contribute for the well-being of humanity. And then I will give my message: humanity is one, the earth is for all. To enjoy its fruits, have a big heart to share, knowledge and resources, with spirit of love and respect for all on equity. Thank you very much.
Rana, thank you so much. I think we can all agree that...
Any question?
Yeah, I'm going to get to that. But I think the theme of the importance of education has been recurring in this conference, and something certainly we can all agree on. Yeah, I'd like to open the floor. Any questions?
Thank you. I just wanted to say that I feel inspired by your speech, and in particular the first part.
Thank
when
you.
I think it's amazing that a man realizes that a woman is depressed, and how do you think you can change this? How do you think women can really change their mentality and I don't know, maybe change their position in a society? Thank you.
Thank you. It is the evolutionary process. So women had not right of vote some 100 years back. So now I see women is striving hard in my own country. It's an Islamic country where you have seen the Malala was fired on. And the youth, girls, they are striving hard. They're coming forward. And I also, it's my inner feeling that I feel glad, confident women. They are going for their rights. And in such a way, they will come forward and take the lead, I would say. The man, however, look at that. The man is dominating the world society. The disparities, huge, 88% of the population is underdeveloped countries. And you cannot imagine how suffering they are facing. So if man is with wisdom, he could have planned in such a way that no should one feel any deprivation. So he has not. I believe woman is far more superior than man. Man has only physical strength. His job is to do labor, and women's job is to control it. You will come up. This is my belief.